And after I get everything ready, I start finally writing the vocabulary. And for this vocabulary list, I'm trying to add all the useful places that you will usually go, or places that just makes part of your routine. And this is the result of that list. And now it's time to practice. And I have a notebook that is just for vocabulary practice that has helped me a lot to memorize them, and I really like the repetition method to help me remember the words. And then I start writing the same words as the other notebook, but this time without the translation. And I do that because I want to challenge myself of actually remembering the words without having to rely only on translation. And if I ever need to check their meaning, I have the other notebook. And when I start writing the words, I like to speak them out loud because that will help me with my pronunciation, and it can be very helpful in a real life conversation. So this is what I usually do when I'm practicing. For every word, I will just pronounce them out loud, and that's gonna help me be more comfortable with the pronunciation. So for the first example, I will just say 장소, 장소. And I will do this with all the words. That will help me memorize them better, it will help me pronounce them better, and it's a really good exercise that I try to do every time I study vocabulary. Practice a little bit more, I will just try to apply this vocabulary into sentences. I usually try to write about things that are part of my routine, or things that I usually do, places that I usually go. And besides practicing vocabulary, you are also practicing grammar. I always try to make full sentences, and if I make a mistake, I always make a note about it, and then I go back to this topic and study a little bit more. The good thing about making mistakes is that you can see where you need to study more. It's not something to be ashamed. We are all here to learn, and making mistakes is just part of the process. This is how it looks like when I am fully done. And I also wanted to give you an idea on how to build your own vocabulary book. The smaller one is where I usually use for shorter vocabulary notes when I don't have a lot of words to add on the vocabulary. So I just use the smaller one because I don't use a full page just for a few words. And you can make vocabulary notes about anything. It doesn't have to be grammar related, it can be something fun just to get you out of the routine. You can write your favorite K-pop groups' names in Korean. You can make a list of all the K-dramas you want to watch, or write about anything else that you like in Korean. And I use this bigger vocabulary notebook for topics that has more words to it, and I have more space to write them all. Thank you so much for watching and hope you have a good study session.